So it's another Ask the Crew video, and this time it's the lighting crew, so I can answer some of these questions. Not all of them, because obviously you guys are just so you're just a font of knowledge. Fount of knowledge, is it? Actually, yeah, something like that, anyway. The first question is, do you guys like Marmite? And I have to say, we all love Marmite, particularly Vince. Vince absolutely adores Marmite. He can't get enough. Yes, Vince?
What?
No, I'm a bit suspicious that you're... Why are you writing into your finger? What are you doing? Right, so Vince loves Marmite, as we all do. Next question's a bit odd. Is there a certain company that does a majority of venue lighting R&D, research and development? It's really expensive, developing new fixtures. All the major companies have significant research and development departments, and they're all continually developing new things. So it's always an ongoing thing. I mean, the lighting fixtures are always evolving in the industry.
I think the venue lighting companies are venue lighting companies, and manufacturers have R&D departments, and there's not really that much of a crossover with that, is there, other than the PRG with the...
I do wonder, do PRG have something else under their hidden, and are they working on something right now? I'm kind of interested.
No idea.
You just don't know. Yes, Vince. Would you like some Marmite, Vince? Next question. What's the strangest thing that's been found in Clive's beard, Vince?
Glitter.
Glitter. Someone poured glitter in my beard while I was asleep. I wonder who that was, Vince. And then there was a game whereby anytime I fell asleep, they put cable ties into it to see how many they could get into my beard. Quite a lot of cable ties. Do we worry about lightning strikes? Well, the castle itself has lightning conductors on it.
Presumably.
Yes. They're all really well. It's a big historic building. It's going to have loads of protection. Also, the stands themselves are a huge mass of metal bolted into the ground. So even, if lightning struck the stands, we don't know what would happen, because even a mass of metal, lightning is so unpredictable because of the sheer volume of current, the massive amount of current that flows. It's not something we've had a problem with yet. Have I just cursed the job by saying that? Everything is so computerized. Have you ever had a cascading failure, and if so, what happens? Does the show go on without light cues, sound, etc.? Could you still manually take over and run a show without the computers, or is that an art lost, no crew? The show is heavily computerized.
It is, yeah.
But we also have tons of backup. We've got spare desks, we've got spare buffers, we've got spare everything. I'm just going to lock off the exposure because it's a wee bit sort of flickery. I think it's my beard that's causing the flicker here.
But if the lighting desk goes down, you lose control. But the chances are that it'll hold the last scene, or the last state. So the actual fixtures themselves will
fixtures
hold the last
can
state.
be programmed. They can be told to either. There's multiple options. They can be told to black out if they lose DMX, which is kind of rare because sometimes you lose DMX. But most of them will just hold their last state until they get an update in the DMX. So that's what would happen if the desk went down. But it's got a UPS. It's got loads of backups. And beyond that, if the worst, absolutely everything happened, we could hopefully bring the dimmers back on, and we could at least provide light onto the arena.
And also, we have a network backup desk that has the same show in it. So if one desk actually crashes, you can essentially jump onto the other desk. That's quite common these days.
There is multiple redundancy built in. How did you get to work as crew at the Tattoo? Well, it's Steve's first year this year, and that is typically how it happens. Steve is a veteran of the industry, he's well experienced, and it's just when people know you in the industry, that's how you get work, because they know that you can do what they want you to do. So if you want to get into the industry, I generally recommend getting a trade first. There are lots of college courses, but the college courses take a lot of money off you, and they don't necessarily give you much more than just theory. And you come out, you got a lot of students coming out, and they couldn't even tell you one connector from another. So
it depends who the teachers are, doesn't it? How up to speed they are with how things work on site. And things are always changing.
There are good courses and there are bad courses. There are some courses that are being taught by people who completed the course themselves, and that's their only experience in the industry.
I get asked that question a lot, especially people, with children and stuff, and they say, how can my son or daughter get into the industry? And I always say, go to like a lighting hire company, get a job in the cable department, and then work your way through it, learn all the equipment. Everyone always wants to go to the moving light department and this, that and the other. If you know your cables, you know the equipment, how it all plugs together. You work your way through. Once you know all the equipment in that lighting company, the hire company, you can. Most people go into the industry from there that I've ever met. That's how I did it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a common way through. So a lot of people just want to go to college and then jump in on this desk at a big band at a festival or whatever. And it's like, you're better working your way through and knowing how things plug together and going from there.
That also gives you a good taste of the industry, what it's actually like behind the scenes, because it might look glamorous on the outside, but it's not so glamorous on the inside. It's actually quite yucky and hard work at times. It can be quite demanding with a lot of panics if things break down and stuff like that. So it gives you a taste of that. What is the power draw on a show like that, and is that from the grid or a bank of generators? Well, Vince reckons that the draw at the moment is just over 400 kVA, and we have a 1.2 megawatt substation built into the job. The new stands were built specifically for the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo, so we have a substation, a proper 11 kV in permanent substation, but we've also got a switchover system and a backup generator, so that in the event of a power failure, out with our control, the generator will bring it back. And then we've also got generators for the lifts, and we've also got a battery bank system that's going to hold the house lighting up for long enough to actually complete the show. So, you know, we're well covered for power. What was the most spectacular accident that the audience thought was part of the show? Okay, you've not seen these guys yet. We regularly have an act called the Imps, and it's young people, I think they're actually young offenders, who are being basically shown how to drive bikes in exciting manners, and it's these young kids who do motorbike stunts, and it's like ridiculous, full-on adult grade motorbike stunts of jumping over cars and ramps. And one of the weirdest ones we had was he was riding a bike with a ladder on it, and he climbed the ladder and then rode the bike to the top of the ladder, and the wind caught him and he lost control. He slid into the side of the stands and completely obliterated one of our lights, which then rolled down the hill. Well, a bit of it rolled down the hill. And the audience thinks, wow, wonderful, yes, lovely. They're responsible for a lot of weird things, but you know, it's hilarious. They're called the Imps, and we call it the Impsidents, because that's what happens. For the entire crew, is Clive as nice in real life as he appears to be in his videos, am I?
I think you are, to be honest.
Vince,
you're pretty much a consistent guy. You know,
Vince
you're consistently the same.
Vince says he is an absolute diva. It's the entourage of flunkies that really get me, and the Hummer limo that he insists on arriving in. That's all fictitious. Vince, yes, you're making porkies. What the fuck is the Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo? Feel free to ask that. Well, as Vince says, buy a ticket, come and find out, because it's I don't even know, how would you describe it to it? It's like, it's just this massive thing. You'll find video of it on YouTube, not quite as good as real life, and if you ever visit it, you'll find out what it's about. It's just huge. But it is also fully televised. The BBC have filmed it, and at this point in time, as we record this, it's going out it's probably going out tomorrow.
27th, I think.
I don't know.
I think that's Monday.
Oh, right, it's going out on Monday.
I could be wrong, but I think it's the 27th, yeah. It's better live, though.
Yeah,
it's
much better live. You're never going to get the same experience just watching it on YouTube or whatever. But I should mention that we encourage people to take photos and video and put it up on YouTube, because it lets people get a taste of the tattoo, but it's never going to replace the real thing. I have a question for any of the tech crews. What is the most common hardware failure you see, and how do you protect against it? Water ingress. You know, on an outdoor job. On an outdoor job, even though you've got lights that are supposedly waterproof, everything's sealed, nothing.
It's your 11-minute call.
That's our 11-minute call, but we're on laser duty in 11 minutes, so basically speaking, we have to go out onto the gantry and we have to watch the lasers and make sure that they're not going into areas they shouldn't be. If they are, we just hit that button and it kills the show, which we've not had to do, so that's pretty good. Do you use a torque wrench to verify truss and light connections, or just do it by feel? Typically it's done by feel.
Never seen anyone use a torque wrench.
Not yet. Oh, you?
Maybe.
Oh, Vince. Oh, no, he's lying. He's lying again. He's just telling porkies.
You should never tighten anything, and you know when you're doing it.
So the next one seemed quite simple. How is DMX data distributed? And Vince wrote his answers here for us through cables. Which is true, but in reality, we've got a data cable coming from the desk to a rack, which then splits it out into multiple streams, 13 streams of, oh, this is just a terrible idea, eating while I'm making video. This is a terrible idea, because then people will complain that I'm making slurping, munching noises while I make the video. I always wonder about fall safety. Sounds dull to people who've never had that special feeling 500 feet above a nice stone floor. What steps, physical and mental, does it take to rig as high in the air as we do? Everything here is done on walkways and gantries and steps. There's no climbing involved in this job. I've got chocolate all over my fingers now. Thanks for that, Vince.
Fear of heights.
Fear of heights.
That's pretty much it, isn't
We
it?
have had some follow spot operators who didn't click with the height thing, but they generally get over it. It's just an initial fear, and once you get out there and embrace that fear, it's fine. But we are pretty high up. It's fantastic views. I've never had a fear of heights. Fear of heights?
I think I had to overcome it to a point, but I was okay, but I've got better at it because it is just a fear.
Yeah.
So if you know you're safe and you're not being stupid, then it's just a matter of telling you that you're actually okay.
Yeah. Oh, this is easy. Which department is the most important to the show and why? It's the lighting department, because we are the supreme overlords of everything to the show. It's not the projection department. Ignore Ross. He's the projection department is quite important, but you know what? The lighting department is by far the most important.
If my friend John Perks was here, he would quite rightly say that it's the electrics department. Because as soon as you lose power, everyone's in a problem.
Screwed. And if the other departments displease us, we could effectively just shut them down. So they have to remember that, and that means the lighting and power department is actually the best department.
Yeah.
We're going to have to keep around the time here for this call. Okay.
Right.
To what extent does the technology you change from year to year? It gradually evolves. You know, when we started this job, it was all really vintage, discharge, moving headlights, but quite lightweight. It was the earliest types. It was VL5As we used, which were pretty good. They did well, but now we've got the new stands. The original stands were built to take power cans, which we still use. They were one of the oldest lighting industry light sources. But now we've got a mixture, and it's a huge range, and it gradually evolves. Every year something changes. It's just one little section of the lighting changes, and it is going, as you'd rather guess, towards LED, but LED isn't suitable for replacing everything yet. So it does. It just gradually evolves over time. Just look, where are we in the show?
We're okay.
We're getting close
We're
to our
close.
laser queue. We may have to suddenly
I'll
run
have to finish this.
Tell you what, we'll do this. We'll actually go and do our laser queue, and then we'll come back in and do the other bit. So this is the first part of the video, and we'll come back and do the other bit after we've done our laser checks.